Good evening. I'm KHOU Meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are tracking some downpours, some heavy rain, dangerous lightning with these storms that are just not letting up, especially anytime soon, especially going into the next hour or so. Here's a live look over downtown Houston. We're seeing some wet roadways, but radar is still rather active. In fact, these storms are becoming a bit more widespread across the city of Houston and completely encompassing much of the city, affecting all of our major roadways. We have a couple of spots of areas that are receiving quite a bit of lightning with these storms. And so when we see that lightning, that's just an indication that these storms are sort of strengthening, and we are losing daytime heating, but that doesn't really give us the opportunity for these storms to weaken. And especially going into the next maybe hour or so, we're going to continue tracking these heavy downpours going into at least moving through all of affecting our major roadways. So as we look at the number of lightning strikes, we have 239 strikes within the last 10 minutes, especially in northeast Houston. We've seen the area north of the loop already receive quite a bit of rainfall for today. 2.5 to 3 inches of accumulated rainfall, and now we're seeing more of this rain activity that is falling over northern Houston, and that is going to start increasing the flood concerns for portions of North Houston as we head into later this evening. So hopefully all the earlier rain has drained off, but we've already seen close to 4 inches of rain now approaching just along I-69 near just north of the loop there. So looking at the future track, we could see this diminish and become less widespread within the next hour or so, but we are expecting the rain chances to still persist at least through the weekend. I can't rule out some possible downpours, especially along the coastal areas from Galveston to Lake City, even Anahuac, but those downpours likely to move through the city of Houston going into tomorrow afternoon. We're just still having this period of unsettled weather, all thanks to this disorganized disturbance that's currently over the Gulf and currently affecting our weather pattern. The Storm Prediction Center is including a large portion of Texas under a marginal risk for flooding. That is a 1 out of 4, and we are expecting the potential for some of this flooding to be more so isolated, but additional rainfall that has already fallen could really well give us the potential for more of that flooding risk for tomorrow as well. So looking at the weather pattern for next week, we will have this high pressure system start approaching Texas. Right now it's situated over the southeast. Once that heat dome moves closer towards us, that is going to up our temperatures as well as diminish the rain chances for Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday of next week. But it's this system that we're currently tracking, this disorganized system that's currently is tropical in nature, but it's just not expecting to form into anything organized. This is the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. They had it at a 10% chance earlier this evening. Now it's at a 0 chance of development, but it's something that we're going to have to continue watching as the center of that system moves over land, because it's very well likely that we could see a third loop around of this system heading into next week that could give us more rain chances by Thursday and Friday of next week. And so that's what we're looking at. That system is giving us a very broad area of tropical moisture across the northern Gulf. And so as we head into the next 2 to 3 days, we're going to see the center of this disturbed weather start moving over the Mississippi River Valley, and it's going to loop around once again over Florida, moving into the Gulf, and then eventually giving us our fair share chances of more rain going into the end of next week. So even though this system is not really organized to track as a labeled system from the National Hurricane Center, it's still going to loop around and bring back that rain chance as we head into Thursday and Friday of next week. And so in the meantime, before next week, we're going to have to deal with the sweltering hot temperatures, highs in the 90s, lows in the 70s. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a triple-digit high temperature, maybe getting up to 100 degrees going into Wednesday of next week, but we're going to still remain rather just warm in nature, as well as what we usually see for July. So temps are expected to be above normal. Highs about 95. So the weekend rain chances are going to keep us a bit cooler, low 90s. Once again, returning in the upper 90s briefly for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. And then once that system loops around to bring us that rain chance for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, that's when we could see a once again, that dip into the lower 90s by the end of next week. So looking at radar right now, this is what we're currently looking at. I'm going to go ahead and revisit what's happening across Houston. We are still tracking heavy downpours that are moving through the center of town. We have quite a bit of lightning with these storms, and it's really causing some low visibility across all of our area roadways for this evening. So if you have any dinner plans, if you didn't make reservations, I would just have those dinner plans at home, because we are just looking at a messy evening shaping out across the city of Houston. And this is looking at, I'm going to show you the Gulf Freeway camera right now. This is really just showing you facing downtown. Earlier, we didn't really see, couldn't even see the skyline because that's how heavy the rain was. But as I switch this camera to looking at what's going to be going on across portions of the Galleria area, we very well could see some of these downpours become a bit more just widespread and heavy by the next maybe hour or so. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that camera up for you just right now, looking at the Galleria. This is looking out at from the roof of our building here at the KHOU 11 studios off of Westheimer, facing the Galleria area. It's looking more likely that this camera is probably not working and probably down. I know we were dealing with some heavy rain and some lightning, and so we're having some issues with that camera at the current moment. But as we look at the Hotel Zaza, this is on top of the Hotel Zaza area, looking at the Med Center. You're able to see those downpours just off into the distance. I believe that's facing I believe that's the Fred Hartman Bridge out in the distance. I'm not entirely sure. They moved this camera, so I can't quite see what direction this is facing, but you're able to just to see those downpours continue at least through the next maybe hour or so. And we are hearing some lightning and some thunder across just outside, just as I speak right now. And so we are looking at this heavy rainfall to continue, but we are still tracking the heavy downpours that are once again going to continue falling at least for the next hour. And it's not really, there's really no signs that these storms are going to be weakening anytime soon. And so that's when we could really see that flooding potential take place here across the city of Houston if these showers and storms don't really, move quickly. And that's what we're looking at now. So we started off mostly isolated. This was just before this 6 o'clock hour where things were just very isolated in nature. And now we're starting to see it become more widespread, and it's starting to move a bit slower. And that's when we could be looking at the potential for some roadways to have that ponding. So it's really just one of those evenings that you probably just stay indoors and not really deal with the widespread rainfall that is currently moving through the city of Houston. There's also some dangerous lightning currently. We're not looking at any high wind speeds with these storms, but we're also just looking at the potential for some low visibility, slick roadways, dangerous lightning. So being indoors is probably the best place to be as these storms pass, because I think if these storms don't move quickly, we're going to start seeing these roadways start becoming, you're going to start seeing that ponding and that isolated flooding in some locations, especially in those well-known low-lying areas across town. So definitely keep that in mind if you are heading out and about, at least for this evening. Quite a bit of lightning. Now moving through just south of downtown along 45, all of our area roadways are becoming impacted by these storms. And that's the reason why we're keeping that weather impact alert through 7 p.m. It's very well likely that we could extend that weather impact alert until these storms move out of the picture, but we're just looking at a lot of lightning. Usually when we see the lightning start decreasing, that's really a sign of the storm's weakening. And that's not really happening right now. It's really just continuing to have widespread, abundant lightning with these storms. And that's what's really going to keep us mostly just shaping out to be a rather messy evening for today. So we were tracking about 250 lightning strikes. That has went up to 346 within the past several minutes, especially for this area that's off to the southeast of town. This is around the East End area along 45, the Gulf Gate area. You're having quite a bit of lightning with those storms that are currently moving through that region in that part of town as of now. So definitely not really seeing these storms let up anytime soon. And we could see some small hail with some storms as we progress through maybe the next 30 minutes. I'm hoping that the loss of daytime heating could really well maybe cause these storms to weaken, but we had quite a bit of sunshine today for some portions of Houston. That very well could have heated the surfaces of our grounds. And that's really probably the cause of the energy that's really just keeping the storms active right now and lasting at least through the 7 p.m. hour. So definitely keep that in mind that these storms are continuing to bring some heavy rain and downpours across the city of Houston as we progress through the evening. Rain chances are in store for us as we head into Saturday and into the weekend. If you have any of those outdoor plans, if you have any of those maybe exercise plans, maybe go and do it earlier in the day, because we're going to once again see that rain chance for Saturday into Sunday. Highs in the 90s. Still rather warm. We will see those highs get up to about 98, close to 100 degrees for next week. And then we're going to be tracking the potential for more of these showers, all thanks to the loop around effect that this tropical system, very disorganized broad system is having. And it will be the third week in a row that this same system will loop around again across Florida, moving over the northern Gulf over Louisiana. And that could bring us more rain and storms for the end of next week. So of course we are tracking the latest weather updates on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 app. I will be here all evening bringing you updates. Hopefully that these storms could let up pretty soon, but we are going to be tracking this at least through the weekend. Again, I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your extended weather update. Make sure to tune in later on tonight at 10 p.m. for the latest news and weather headlines. Have a good rest of your night.